Collective, here is the word, and hear me when I say, okay, that there is much to say, there is much to express, but I suppose we are suggested to speak less. And to go in and understand what it is we are feeling. You see, once we start slowing down, once we start pacing ourselves, once we start honoring the pace that we are in, there is a lot of raw emotions and raw feelings that is going to resurface. And we are asked to understand what is going on inside of us. If you have been neglected and abandoned, and you went through a lot of that in your childhood, a lot of that is coming up for us. And we are to understand why. And we are to take as much time as we want to understand, to reflect on what it is that is happening inside of us, because someone has to. You are to speak to him or to yourself, to the universe, whatever it is that you are holding on inside of you, because we don't actually know that there is something inside of us until we give it our attention. And when we don't give it our attention, we are more than likely going to project our pain onto somebody else who does not deserve to be hurt, to be in pain. We are to reflect, we are to take it little by little, baby steps, and understanding why. And I'm also getting that there are a lot of us who are reflecting on things that people had done to you that they had never apologized for. Do you hear me? We are to sit with ourselves at this time and understand why. It is okay for us to reflect and ask ourselves why, how, when, and where. If you have been that child who was neglected and abandoned and nobody told you why, nobody had given you an explanation, nobody had apologized to you, you are allowed to take as much time as you want for yourself to understand why it was done to you. A lot of us children, because we're all children, a lot of us children have suffered enough. And we need all the love and the care and the understanding, and we need as much support and community we neglect the emotions, we neglect the feelings, we neglect the things that are making us dysfunctional. We are to sit with it and understand where it is coming from. We are to sit with this and understand why it is there, why we were betrayed, why we were gaslighted, why we were underestimated. There are so many questions here. It is not fair for one to go through such heavy burdens when you did not put it there in the first place. 505. It is tough for one to humble themselves in front of people who betrayed you. And yet here you are still being kind and showing kindness and showing compassion to the people who betrayed you. It is not easy for one to be suffering internally at the same time, healing at the same time, having to be humble at the same time, still trying to make it work for themselves and showing face and being out there and allowing yourself to be seen. It is not fair for one to be going through such burdens because somebody else put it there. And they never apologized for it. And they never sat down with you and talked about it with you. You guys, I went into this and didn't even know where this is going to take me, but it led me here. So I'm just going to keep going and continue. And if you are still here, I appreciate you and I appreciate your support. But we are going through collectively, okay? And it gets harder. Okay, I'm getting like it gets harder around this time, going into winter. It gets really tough for some of us trauma survivors. This is a time where, we go in and all of that stuff that we don't want to talk about come to surface. I have the Judgment. I want to say this, that God makes things all fair, right? 737. He makes things all fair, right? So it's like, I'm getting this for some of you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be with yourself. You are heavily protected and heavily guided for a reason. You put yourself in this path, right? You chose this path, right? Perhaps it chose you to be on this path, 808, right? God makes things all fair for all. God makes things all fair. So if he needs to remove somebody out of your life, and even if you don't agree with this, 828, he's going to remove them. Because this is how much he loves you. And perhaps that person is getting their time to sit with themselves and not with you. Because every time they sat with you, you gave them the love. You gave them the comfort. You gave them the healing energy that they were probably just taking and 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 taking. And then now you start to feel the resentment building up inside of you. And you're going over here like, what is this? Why am I all of this sudden building all of this resentment inside of me towards people? And perhaps you have been that person who had overextended yourself and overshared certain things and had given way too much than you should have. 939. And so now you're feeling a lot of this resentment building up inside of you, and this judgment. It's like while you are in this process, right, of healing, and you're on this path of making yourself right and making things right for yourself, as you are at the same time being heavily protected and guided, you know, these people who are now facing their judgment, they feel some type of way, and either they're going to step up and take the initiative to apologize to you, or they don't. It's tough out here, y'all. It is tough out here because it's kind of like it's twisted. It's twisted, you know, because you know, you have people betraying you, right? You have these people betraying you. But these people don't even realize that they are betraying you. These people are pretending like they didn't do nothing. These people are pretending like they had done nothing to you. And I'm getting like, now you still got to provide for them. Now you still got to, you know, give them what they need. And to you, that's where you build up the resentment. Because in your mind, you're going, wait a minute. Okay, I'm trying to make sense of this, right? You betrayed me. And you did a lot of things that you have not apologized for. And yet I'm still here, capable of loving you, still capable of showing you love, but you had never apologized for the things that you had done to me. These people are pretending like they never done anything wrong to you. This is how twisted it is out there. But you see, this judgment, I'm getting like the more they delay the apology, I'm getting like the more that they delay the apology, the more this is coming for them. And the consequences that they have to face that comes with this. Does that make sense? And I hope it makes sense to somebody, because you have been in a lot of pain. You have done a lot of inner work, energy work, light work. You were chosen for a reason. You were put on this path for a reason. You're seeing synchronicities highly, heavily at this time for a reason. Because these people who have betrayed you continue to betray you and continue to pretend like they don't see you. These people continue to pretend like they don't hear you. So the more that they delay the apology, the more of the consequences they are facing at this time is going to come after them. Anybody who has ever done evil to somebody will not get away with it. And if they so just happen to keep suppressing it and keep neglecting it, it's going to haunt them forever. Anyone who is facing judgment today knows that they have done something wrong, but they just will not admit it. So they are now facing consequences that God is striking down and going, you did something. And you are not coming face to face with me, he says. Now, for some of us, you've been this child who was neglected, who was abandoned, right? And you never got the explanation. You probably dealt with immature parents, emotionally immature parents, okay? And I'm getting that, you know, They're trying now, today, in present day. They're trying, okay. They're trying their best to be the best for you. Do you hear me? I'm speaking to somebody here. It is also hard for them to show up for you because they don't understand their own emotions. Now, you were put in a position where you feel like you can't decide whether or not to help this parent or not. Because at this point you're going, I'm just tired. At this point you're going, I'm just burdened. At this point you're going to yourself, I don't even know if this parent appreciates me, if this parent actually values me, if this parent actually cares for me, right? And you're having a lot of mixed emotions. Okay, you may be, I'm speaking to somebody here, and you may be a female here who's going through PMS. Okay, excuse me, you're going through PMS right now, okay, or you may be in your period at this time, okay, and you're getting a lot of mixed emotions, okay, you're very hormonal right now, and you are going back to a time in your childhood where you felt a lot of this neglect. And to this day, as an adult, fast forward, you're still trying to understand, and you're still trying to unload, and you're still trying to unlearn. At the same time, you also having to care for this parent. I'm hearing there is a reason for that. It's a lesson for you, and is also a lesson for that parent. I feel like this parent is going through a lot of this judgment right now, and they are also trying to understand their emotion and trying to keep themselves grounded in whatever they had done to you. And they're probably realizing it, but they're not going to admit it to you, unfortunately. And we hope and pray that they do one day, right? But we cannot always expect the truth from people. We are to assert ourselves at this time. It is not easy for one to be going through a lot of this emotions and feelings that you don't even understand for yourself, and you're going to yourself, I didn't even put this here. You're going to yourself, I didn't even really put this here. And for some of you guys, you're thinking to yourself, I didn't even deserve this. I didn't even put this here. You know, I didn't even have a choice but to really just deal with this, whatever it is that I'm feeling. And it's very uncomfortable for some of you. I'm just trying to get to the next thing. I'm trying to get to the next level. But it almost feels like I am being held back. It's like you can't live up to your dreams. It's like you can't live up to your goals. You know, you can't live up to certain things because there are certain people around you who is holding you back from rising, from ascending. And perhaps for some of you guys, your light is shining. Okay. And yet you still feel like you have no support around you. After all of the inner work that you've done, you're going to yourself, well, man, you know, I've done this for myself, and, you know, I've really gotten to know this part of myself, and I've really fixed this part of myself, and yet you still feel like people don't support it. People are not acknowledging it, encouraging you, and, you know, showing love. Excuse me, I dropped a card. 1 second. Ace of Wands and the Four of Swords. Okay, number 4 is significant for some of you, or 44. When pain drives us and deep emotional wounds drive us, we go instantly to creativity. We go instantly to what makes us feel good. What is going to make us feel good in this moment? And I'm hoping that you guys are not suppressing yourselves. Because it is hard to be going through these emotions, and I feel it right now. It's heavy. I feel like, it's hard for one to be going through these emotions and not suppress. But I suppose that I'm here to remind you to not suppress and to go into creativity instead, to go into putting yourself in a bigger space, a very spacious space, being outside where you can breathe in fresh air and being around trees, looking up at the sky, listening to soothing music, moving your body, a lot of movement. Okay, this is what is required of us right now. It's not easy for one to be feeling so much of this betrayal, and you're asking yourself questions, and you have so much of it. Okay, I am reminded to tell you to write it down, to journal about it. And it doesn't even have to make sense when you write it down. Just write about it. Just jot it down, just take it down and then leave it. Because in writing are we also unblocking. And let me tell you that when you are writing, be very intentional with it, that this is your way of releasing, okay? And when you are writing these emotions down, things that you don't understand, okay, this is going to help you unblock, and then it will make it easier for you to understand what it is that you are facing, what it is that you are feeling in here. Okay, these people, I'm getting this, these people who have come, like, these people who have been coming to you, okay, and hear me when I say this, okay, that while these people have been coming to you for support and help and nurture, these people who have been coming to you to gain for themselves and to only gain for themselves, these people who have been coming to you to take, whether that would be, getting a glimpse of your ideas and then using it against your will. These people who have come to you to take your energy and then ghosting you. These people who have come to you who think that by taking from you and proving something to themselves is going to benefit them. This is what they're facing. I'm hearing that none of this actually makes sense. I'm hearing for some of you that you're thinking none of it makes sense because I had done this and I had done this and I had done this for this person, and then this is what I get in return. For some of you, you're saying that to yourself. This is what I get in return. Like you feel empty. Like you feel like you have built up all of this energy inside of you and you've done so much work on your own. And then when someone else steps into your life, it's like you're over here like, okay, here it is. And then when they're done with it, it's like, okay, bye. And then leaving you feeling like you're just drained. Leaving you feeling like you have nothing else for yourself. And then this is where the resentment starts to build up, because now you're thinking to yourself, did I overshare? Did I overextend myself to somebody who just betrayed me? And these are people, I'm getting like, these are people who don't take accountability for their own healing. These are people who don't take accountability for their own emotions and not aware of their own emotions. And so when they come across you, they come to you and they're able to let themselves down while they're on you. That's when they feel good. But then what happens when they have gained a lot of that energy back? Are they going to do that for you? Are they going to reciprocate the nurture and the love that you give to them? And have you actually experienced their reciprocity? Have you been actually experiencing reciprocity? Because if you find yourself to be in a position where you don't feel the reciprocity, where you don't see the reciprocity, where you don't feel like nobody cares and nobody supports and nobody is seeing you, okay? That's where you go in and you start to question, did I just get betrayed? Again, I do this to myself again and again and again and again. Why do I keep doing this to myself again and again and again and again? This is empathy. This is where a lot of us feel tired. Okay, the Four of Swords. This is where a lot of us feel a lot of that resentment building up inside of us because you're going to yourself, shit, I did overextend myself to somebody who aren't even accountable for their own emotions, who are completely blocked from their own emotions. But because they need me at this hour, but because they want to show up at this hour, because they need something from me, but to them, they're thinking you are the one who needs them. To them, they're thinking you need me, so I'm here for you. But you're over here going, I'm fine. I thought that you were coming to me so we can meet in the middle. But now you're going to yourself, this person just betrayed me. And I feel like collectively we are feeling a lot of that betrayal, whether that betrayal was done in the past or this betrayal is continuing to happen in present day. Okay. And you know what? A lot of what we are also feeling is being transmuted into passion. Passion, passion, passion. While some of us may be feeling some of this anger and rage that we are experiencing, you know, all of that is turning into passion. All of that can be turned in and transmuted into passion. And then you instantly finding, like, instantly you, I'm getting this right now, like in that moment, instantly you get an idea, or you know, you want to get up and do something, you want to go and move your body. When pain hits us and when we are overwhelmed with emotions, okay, when pain hits us and when we are overwhelmed with emotions, collective, you know, this is going to drive us to persevere. This is going to allow us to be more creative. This is going to allow us to open ourselves up to new things. It's going to trigger something inside of you, and it's going to push you to be more driven, push you to be more dedicated. You know, pain can take us one way or the other. That's what I'm getting. Pain can take us in productivity. Pain can lead us to productivity, or pain can lead us to destruction. And right now I'm getting like a lot of us collectively are tempted to go the different way, to go the other way, where there is destruction, where there is harm, where there is danger. I'm hearing danger, 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 and we're like not even there to see it. Seek, ask, knock. Seek, ask, knock. Find answers within. While some of us may not understand how to manage our emotions, and our emotions is now taking over our whole being, mind, body, and spirit, and we just cannot find stability. You're thinking to yourself, well, I didn't do this to myself. There were people around me that did this to me. There were people around me that put this on me. I was fine. I was happy until somebody else stepped into my life and started knocking things down and spreading their poison around. I was fine. I was happy. I was in peace until somebody else came and barged in. Okay. Some of you guys are thinking this, okay? And then this is where the resentment builds. This is where you start to feel like, you're just being used and constantly being used and abused. This is empathy. You hear me? This is empathy. When you have experienced chaos in your childhood, when you have experienced great pain in your childhood, eventually that is going to turn into empathy. And you're going to spread that empathy like wildfire. And then you become so attractive that people feel your empathy. And while you are attractive, you aren't always attracting the right people. Now, you may think that you are, because at first they're going to come to you with charm. At first they're going to come to you with, suppose they are showing you empathy, but it's just all fake. It's not real, right? Just to get to you. There are some people out here, I'm getting here, okay? There are some people out here who is going to act completely different, like change themselves just to get to you. There are some people out here that will do whatever it takes to change who they are just to get to you, just to be in your presence, just to watch you. It's like, but it's not in a healthy way. It's a way for them to get information. It's like surveillance. They're just watching you to be nosy, but they're not actually wanting to be around you because they're interested in you. They're just wanting to be around you just to see how you are. If you're still stupid, if you're still lame, if you still broke, if you still got that X on your back, on your neck, some of these people are going to come up to you and act like they know what they're doing, and act like they know what they're thinking, they know what they're saying, but they're actually creating a mess. They're actually creating something here that they are going to face in the end. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to exhaust you, because they're not going to blame themselves for it. They're going to blame you. They're not going to admit to what they just created. Some people just don't admit to their own faults, and they don't apologize for it. So now you got to do the releasing for them. Does that make sense, collective? Some of these people are not going to admit to the faults and the mistakes that they had done. Some people are not going to apologize for the things that they had done to you. So now you got to release it for them. Because you're not going to hold on to this, because you know you got involved too. And you're not going to be the one to hold on to this, but you know that they're also not going to be the one to release it. One of y'all have to release this energy. When two people get together, they make and create something. When two people get together, they alchemize something, right? And so while they alchemize, whether it is good or bad, one of you guys have to detach. And if the person who betrayed you is not going to do it, then one of you guys have to be the bigger person, right? So that you can come back to more stability that was pretty much taken away from you. Right? When I said that, well, I was happy before you came into my life. Well, you know, I was good before you came into my life, and now you're over here trying to lurk, you're over here trying to mess with me, you're over here trying to play with me. But you know what? They played with themselves. Because what's coming up for you, collective, is even more than what you can fathom. What you put out will come back to you. It's called karma. What you put out will come back to you. It's called karma. But you see, God is going, you need to detach yourself from certain places and people and things so I can give you your reward. And you are not able to receive this reward when there are blockages and people holding us back. For some of you guys, you are getting married. I don't mean to say that like that, but I'm just a messenger here. You are thinking about it, a proposal perhaps, okay? Things are getting fired up. Things are very passionate at this time, okay? Some of you guys are just driven to do. Ah, chills, I want to cry. Y'all are out here just wanting to do the impossible. You have the Lovers. Woo! Whatever y'all went through, whatever y'all are going through, God is going to bless you. You've been through enough for you to not get what you gave out. I love you guys. I'm sending you guys so much love and support at this time. And may you find more peace and true love. I'll see you in the next. I love you.